Hello student, today we are seeing the surface landmark of head, neck, face region. To appreciate this surface landmark in a better way, we are showing it on the mummified body.
Now this is the collarbone. You can see collarbone, that is the clavicle. This is the medial end of clavicle. Between two medial ends of this clavicle, above this sternum, this is suprasternal notch. In this trachea can be palpated. Now here in the midline, you can see this is the base of mandible, which is horseshoe shape. In this the face is tilted toward the right side. So now this is the base of mandible. This is the chin. Below and behind chin, here there is this hyoid bone will be there. And below hyoid bone, you can see this is the eminence of the thyroid cartilage, anterior median eminence of the thyroid cartilage. This is known as laryngeal prominence or Adam's apple. This is more prominent in case of males. And just below this, there is cricoid cartilage. And below cricoid cartilage, there starts the trachea. Anteriorly, this base of mandible, here you can see chin, and posteriorly this is the angle of mandible. Here, posterior to the ear, you can see here there is mastoid process. Here there is mastoid process. From mastoid process, the muscle is extending toward here. So the origin of the sternocleidomastoid is from this sternum and clavicle, and it is inserted on the mastoid process. So in this way, this is the sternocleidomastoid arising from sternal head and clavicular head and inserting on the mastoid process. You can see this neck is quadrilateral or quadrangular on side view. Inferiorly it is bounded by the clavicle, anteriorly by the anterior median plane of this neck, superiorly by the base of mandible, then angle of mandible, and line joining angle of mandible to the mastoid process, and then the nuchal line, superior nuchal line. So this is the superior boundary, and posteriorly the anterior border of trapezius muscle. So this is somewhat quadrilateral in shape in the side view. Because of this sternocleidomastoid, it is divided into two parts. Anteriorly this is anterior triangle, and posteriorly this is posterior triangle. Now between two heads of origin of the sternocleidomastoid, that is from the sternal head and clavicular head, here this fossa is there. This is lesser supraclavicular fossa, which at this place there is inferior bulb of internal jugular vein, while behind and above this middle part, middle 1/3 of the clavicle, here you can see this is the greater supraclavicular fossa. At this place, deep to it, there is a subclavian artery and a trunk of brachial plexus. The enlargement of lymph node in the supraclavicular fossa takes place in case of the tuberculosis, Hodgkin lymphoma, and cancers. That is the secondaries. Here there is infraclavicular fossa below the clavicle. Now coming to the ear, here you can see this is the auricle or pinna. This is the external ear. Now it is having the part. Now here anteriorly this is the tragus. Behind here, just opposite tragus, this is the antitragus. Now here this ear having this elastic cartilage part, and below here there is the lobule of the ear. This is somewhat fleshy part at which the ears are pricked. So this is the lobule of the ear, and this is the pinna. This is formed by the elastic cartilage. This is tragus. Now this is the concha, which is leading to the external acoustic meatus. So this is the concha, and this is helix. Here you can see this is the scaphoid fossa. This is the zygomatic arch. The masseter will arise from here and it is inserted on here. So inferior angle of masseter, here around this point there is facial artery. So we can palpate the facial artery at antero-inferior angle of masseter, which is here. You can see this is the zygomatic arch, which can be palpated and is subcutaneous. upper border of zygomatic arch. Here this is the jugal point. Then here you can see this is the forehead, and forehead is common to both scalp as well as face. Forehead extends from the adult hairline to the superior orbital margin. So this is the forehead. While scalp extends from this orbital margin anteriorly, posteriorly to the nuchal lines and external occipital protuberance. This is the glabella. At the junction of medial 1/3 of the supraorbital margin and lateral supraorbital margin, here there is supraorbital foramen will be there, and the line passing from here below in vertical plane which pass from the infraorbital foramen, which is around 5 mm below the inferior orbital margin. Then again the same line will pass from the mental foramen and then from the base of the mandible. So these three foramens, they are in the same vertical plane. Median ridge, which is separating right and left halves of the nose, this is known as the dorsum of the nose, where the forehead ends, and at the upper border of this dorsum of the nose, here this is the root of the nose, and below this is the tip of the nose. So this is dorsum of the nose, this is root of the nose, this is tip of the nose. On each side here these are the ala of the nose, and this is the anterior nares or nostrils. This, in between these there is soft tissue partition, this is known as columella. And below till the upper lip, this is the philtrum, this one, the upper lip and the lower lip. The lip has the red margin which is inside. Usually when we close the lips, this red margin, at this the lips are closing, and this is the black margin. This is the angle of the mouth. Here angle of mouth lies at the level of the first premolar tooth, while the red margin, it closes at the level of this cutting edge of the central incisor. You can see this is the palpebral fissure, which is elliptical opening between upper and lower eyelid. So this is palpebral fissure. The upper eyelid and lower eyelid, they meet at the angles. These are known as canthi, or medial angle and lateral angle of the eye. This is the orbit which lodges these eyeballs. Upper part of it, lateral orbital margin, there is frontozygomatic suture. It can be palpated. Between the angle of mandible and the mastoid process, in between this angle, tip of the transverse process of the atlas, which can be palpated between angle of mandible and mastoid process, anterior inferior to this mastoid process. Here anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. Here 6 cervical vertebra having transverse on its transverse process, the tubercle is there, that is known as carotid tubercle, against which the common carotid artery can be pressed. Here the upper border of thyroid cartilage, here at this level posteriorly there is C4 cervical vertebra, 4th cervical vertebra, while cricoid cartilage, which is starting here, this lies at the level of 6th cervical vertebra, C6 level. Thyroid gland extends from below here. It extends till middle of the thyroid cartilage. You can see this is thyroid cartilage. These two lamina cartilage can be seen. Thyroid cartilage gland will extend like this. And isthmus lies against 2nd to 4th tracheal rings. Frankfurt plane passes from infraorbital margin anteriorly to this external acoustic meatus, center of the external acoustic meatus, and posteriorly this Frankfurt plane passes just below the external occipital protuberance. So this is about the surface anatomy. Thank you.